I don't know about that. Block it out of my brain. I'm like, I'm ignoring it. I'm moving on. Why am I using all these words? Hello everyone. My name is Bonnie and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be going through all of the books that I read in December. There's a lot. So the first book that I want to talk about today, I am like so proud that I finally finished it, and that is Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. This is the third and final book in the Farseer trilogy, which is the first trilogy in Robin Hobb's larger realm of the Elderlings. It kind of gives a kind of conclusion to things that are going on in the Six Duchies with Fitz and the royal line of things, but it also does leave things open for Hobb's future visits in the other trilogies. So this installment I ended up only giving 3 stars. A lot of it is just like kind of dull traveling in the mountains kind of thing going on, and just like the final reveals are kind of meh in my opinion. But I do really like this world that Robin Hobb has created. It is full of political intrigue, and yeah, our main character Fitz is trained to be an assassin at a young age to serve the royal family because he was the prince-in-waiting's bastard, but his father quickly abdicated the throne upon learning of Fitz's existence. So just a lot of family drama, political things, and some pretty epic magic going on in here. So I'm just so happy I finally finished this. This took me 4 or 5 months maybe to complete, but I'm just pleased to finish this off by the end of the year. The next 2 I'll be discussing are the only 2 books that were rereads for me, and that is Wundersmith and Hollowpox by Jessica Townsend. This is book 2 and 3 of the Nevermore middle grade series that are just so full of whimsy and magic and are just oh so enchanting. And just each installment of this world, Jessica Townsend world builds so well. Just these characters are amazing. Our storyline is following the main character Morgan Crow, who is believed to be a cursed child due to die on her 11th birthday. But then she is rescued by the wonderful Jupiter North and whisked away to the magical, wondrous world of Nevermore. So the first book is Morgan proving she belongs there. Book 2 is her kind of exploring her schooling a little bit more, mostly like trying to cooperate with her classmates and getting a little bit more world building about Nevermore and the society they're in. And then Hollowpox is even more world building exploration of Nevermore and some politics as well with the other nations of the world overall, and just tensions between the Wunimals and other Nevermorians. So both of these are 5 out of 5 stars. I loved them the first time. I love them upon reread. Their audiobooks are amazing. I love the school vibes that we get to explore in this one, and then in Hollowpox everything just feels more heavy hitting, more intense than you would expect from like a middle grade, but I love it. It's so captivating. This has the intensity of that there is an illness that is affecting the Wunimals of Nevermore, and so that's creating a lot of tension, that sort of thing, and mystery as well. But while there is that kind of anxiety tension going on, there is still light moments. We get to go to like a super cool magical library in it, and just some good friendship moments as well. So these are just so amazing, and I can't wait for the next installment to come out in 2022. The next book will be a quick one, and that is Fangs by Sarah Anderson. This is a super teeny tiny but adorable graphic novel that follows the love story of a vampire and a werewolf. I read this for the prompt under 300 pages for Sprintathon, and I flew through it, and it was super cute. It has a lot of puns about vampires and werewolves, so it was definitely entertaining, and definitely a good pick for readathons. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but I do think it could potentially become a 5-star down the line upon rereads, because, you know, it's so teeny tiny, it'll be super easy to reread, and I think I'll love it even more around spooky season, which I know that's when a lot of people were loving it this year. So I'm just super happy to have this in my collection, and it was just cute and fun. The next two I have to discuss are both mangas, and that is Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Soul Eater. These are the perfect editions that have been coming out, so they are the hardcover bind-ups of some chapters of the Soul Eater manga. I was gifted the first volume for Christmas, and I picked up the second and a few other volumes when Barnes & Noble was doing their 50% off sale, so I'm just having a great time. Volume 1 I gave 5 out of 5 stars, and Volume 2 was 4 stars. Both of these are just super great. I adore this anime, so it is just super fun to see them all depicted in their manga. If any of you aren't familiar with Soul Eater follows a school for Meisters and weapons. Meisters wield the weapons, and the weapons are people that can magically turn into weapons. So we have the main character Maka, who is a Meister, and then there is Soul, who turns into a scythe. So they team up together to fight off evil, witches, demons, all sorts of different things. There are also other characters as well, but these are our main 2 characters. So it definitely is like spooky vibes setting. It crafts a very compelling story down the line. I will warn that Volume 1 does have a lot of fan service, a lot of female nudity, but it does tone down in later volumes, just as it does in the anime. So just know that it's there. I personally am just like, well, there it is, and then I just move on. I like block it out of my brain. I'm like, I'm ignoring it. I'm moving on. But yeah, this story is just so fun and cute, and like it's hilarious as well. Like I found myself like smiling and chuckling quite a bit just with the jokes that go on, or just like, I don't know, just dumb silly things that these kids get into. It's just a lot of fun, and I'm having a really great time just re-experiencing it. The next book I have to discuss is Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. This is the concluding book in the These Violent Delights duology. This pretty much takes up right where These Violent Delights left things off. This is a 1920s Shanghai reimagining of Romeo and Juliet. It has a lot of there is the Scarlet Gang that Juliet is part of, and the White Flowers, which Roma is a part of. So there is the gang struggle, and then outside forces struggle with the gang presence in Shanghai. then just power struggles within the individual gangs, and then just relationship, romantic drama between our cast of characters. So it's all very entertaining. There is also a monster kind of illness element to these as well, which is my least favorite part. I think these characters Chloe Gong creates has the best elements of it. I just adore these characters, and I'm very attached to how things go about for them. These Violent Delights was 5 out of 5 stars every time I've read it so far. I just love that. This one I enjoyed a great deal, but I found issue with the later parts of this. I would say the last 70 pages or so, I was no longer buying into it and just wasn't really happy with how things went about. To avoid spoilers, it's around the time things shift for Kathleen. That's all I'll say. It doesn't have anything to do specifically with Kathleen, it's just how all of the plot threads go about around that period and afterwards that I'm like, I don't know about that. So, well, I didn't love the ending, so I was a bit bummed out. I was hoping this would be 5 stars, but it ended up at a 4-star, which is still good, but it's just not the vibe I was expecting. I just found myself very frustrated. Don't get me wrong, I was not expecting a perfect happily ever after, beautiful bow all tied together, because, it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, shit's gonna get messy, but I didn't buy it. I didn't buy how this ended, so yeah. But who knows, perhaps upon a reread I will change my tune and be totally obsessed with the entirety of it. I loved a great deal of this, as you know if you have seen my vlogs while reading this. But yeah, it's a mixed bag, because there was times where I was getting quite emotional, like potential tears. Like, no tears were actually shed, but like I felt it happening. It could have spilled over, but nothing happened, and that's mostly to do with Marshall and Benedict's moments and revelations and that sort of thing. So I love the character dynamics. These characters themselves are so great, but just overall plot points wrapping up left me wanting. Next, I also got to Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, which is another book I am very proud to say I completed in 2021. I had been putting off this book for years, but I had a really good time. I am, for whatever reason, always super into sci-fi in the winter times, so this definitely gave off all the sci-fi vibes I was looking for. Particularly this one reminds me extremely of Star Trek Discovery, particularly the first few seasons. Just how Brandon Sanderson expands the world so swiftly, and the new characters we meet, and the dynamics between them and Flight Academy, and all that, and just also some of our plot reveals. It just reminded me so distinctly of Star Trek Discovery, which I love Star Trek. I'm a big Star Trek fan, but having it such close resemblance, that could just be me. I don't know of anyone else making that comparison, but it kind of took away my shock, surprise moments that I am used to in Brandon Sanderson, because I feel like in plenty of his other books there are reveals I don't see coming that just surprise me or pull me in even more, but so many of these reveals I was like, oh, that's like this instance in Star Trek Discovery, oh, it's like this moment or whatever. So it took me out of it because then I was automatically thinking to other source rather than sticking in this one. So it's not a count against it, it's just my personal experience of this story. It didn't like completely enthrall me, ensnare me. Why am I using all these words? It just didn't, I didn't love it the way I loved Skywards, but I'm intrigued to see where the story goes from here, because we've already expanded the world created in Skyward an extreme amount in this one, so I feel like literally anything could happen from here. So it definitely has me intrigued to see where Cytonic Book 3 goes, and there is novellas in this world that have been coming out, and they will be in a bind up in April of 2022, so I'm intrigued by that. And I just realized I did not say what the premise is of the first book. Starsight is book 2 in the Skyward series. Skyward is Brandon Sanderson's latest YA sci-fi series that follows the main character Spencer, who is desperate to become part of the Flight Academy to prove both herself as like an individual independent fighter, as well as to kind of dissuade the belief that her father was a traitor. So she becomes part of the Flight Academy and has to prove herself, and then there's other political reveals, other alien life forms out there, that sort of stuff going on with the looming war. So Starsight takes off from where Skyward left off, I think only a few months later, and it just kicks right off. You just go. But yeah, so although I did not fall absolutely in love with this, I still had a great time, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next chunky book I have to discuss is The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. This is actually the final book that I read in 2021, but I do have one more book after this to discuss. But I was really intrigued by this book. This is a adult fantasy debut that is a desert fantasy that is highly politically focused. We have 2 main characters. There is Terrain, who is a conscripted soldier who is essentially enslaved at a young age to fight in this war against her original people. And then there is Luca, who is the crowned princess of the conquered kingdom, who is kind of trying to prove that she is a valuable asset to her kingdom, that she can be queen, that she is a strong mind. And they are both sapphic, although I will say that while they are both sapphic, the relationship between the two romantically is not a main focus at all. That is far more of a back burner. I would say they are attracted to each other, but this story is not about their romance. There is no like grand, like extreme romance. They don't fall head over heels for each other, nothing like that. It is extremely focused on the politics. There is a rebellion going on, and Luca and Terrain find themselves working together. Terrain is working as like an assistant to Luca to learn about the rebel cause, and then things go crazy from there. I do really enjoy how C.L. Clarke explores this story. I think their writing style is very compelling. Nearly the entire time I just wanted to keep reading. I wanted to see where things go. It was really only towards the end that I was a little like about things, since I started to feel like the characters were making questionable decisions that felt rather odd for how we are told and seen their characters to be based off of previous actions. but the ending got me back on board. I'm very intrigued to see where book 2 goes. For a good chunk of this, I was thinking I would only be giving it 3 stars, but that ending hooked me. There is a bit of a mysterious magic system in this world that we only see little glimpses of, but that is an aspect that has made me definitely intrigued to pick up book 2, and yeah, this ended up being 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm intrigued to see where this fantasy series goes. I'm not sure if there's more than book 2. Currently Goodreads just has book 2 noted with the potential publication year of 2022, but I have no clue if this will be a larger series. I mean, it'd be cool. It'd be cool if it was an entire series, but I do not know what C.L. Clarke has planned, but I'm looking forward to whatever ride happens next. And the final book I have to discuss is my absolute favorite read of the month, and that is The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. Boy, was I surprised by this book. I ate it up. I ate it up. It was so good. I loved it. So, for some context, I have previously listened to the audiobook of Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno-Garcia and super enjoyed that one, but that is more of like a mystery, like a Gothic mystery, while this I would say is much more a like historical fiction period drama kind of book. With just a touch of magic. This book takes place during a grand season where everyone is so focused on attending balls and just, you know, interacting with people in the proper way and just, you know, women seeking husbands, that sort of thing. We have 3 characters. There is Nina, who is kind of this naive country girl who has come to participate in the grand season, who has slight telekinetic powers. There is Hector, who is kind of a standoffish man, but he does have very prevalent telekinetic powers in which he is a performer of these gifts. And then there is Valerie, who is like the epitome of the perfect woman at these grand seasons, and she is married to Nina's cousin. So Nina is kind of taken under Valerie's wing, but not by Valerie's choice. So Valerie tries to kind of control Nina and shape her into the perfect woman, but is rather cruel about it, and Nina is just set in her ways of speaking her mind, kind of naively, but just always trying to be positive and just very independent. So Hector has a secret past with Valerie, and Nina is drawn to Hector, wanting to learn more about telekinetic powers and how she can be better in them. So thus begins a complex relationship web of Nina being drawn to Hector, Hector already drawn to Valerie, but starting to get drawn to Nina. It becomes all very complex and intriguing with beautiful writing that really just like encaptures the reader to really see and feel this rich setting, and just makes you feel so many things. I adored Nina. Valerie made me so freaking mad, and then Hector, I didn't know how to feel about Hector. I just think this book is so well done. It explores so many aspects of love and infatuation, how love can be so giving, but also people can convey love in a selfish and self-centered way, and just like there's the love rooted in the past, or the love that is potentially new and just, I don't know, it explores so much. It is so well done, and it's under 300 pages. Like, I just can't believe how well Silvia Moreno-Garcia shaped this all and conveyed this all under 300 pages. It blows my mind. It feels like we are in it for so much longer. We do cover 2 grand seasons, so there's a part 1 and a part 2, and it's just, I adored this. So 5 out of 5 stars for sure. I will definitely be rereading this. Just, I loved it so much more than I ever could have expected. And it did leave me with like 2 little tears when I finished it. It was just so beautifully done. It was just amazing. So that will about do it for all of the books I read in December. I cannot believe that I got to 10 books. Despite all of Christmas craziness. We're all 4 stars. Well, except Assassin's Quest, but that one was a 3-star, but I felt very accomplished getting it done, so that's okay. But 1 3-star, all 4, and a 5, like, I think that's a pretty great way to end the year. Let me know down below if you have read any of these or how your December reading went. I would love to know. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.